In the stone courtyard of the Royal Magic Academy, a sparring match ended before it began. Kenji, a slim 15-year-old, formed a single finger seal with a bored expression. A translucent blue screen flashed above him. Prior life, Shinobi King Slafrin level 999. But the boy with the ancient eyes had worn a crown in another life. Decades before, in the Warring States era, he ruled as the undefeated Shinobi King for 60 years. At 92, he died peacefully in his bed, his final hand seal releasing a life of endless battle. His soul traveled through a tunnel of light, pulled across worlds and time. He woke gasping in a different body, younger, slighter, but with the same white streak in his hair.
This world calls chakra mana, and jutsu are spells. The magic here is laughably inefficient.
He enrolled as a commoner in Astoria's academy, determined to remain a talentless nobody. But on the first day, instinct had already betrayed him. Now he must bury his power deeper than any grave. In instructor Elara's spell-casting lecture, students took notes as she demonstrated a basic flame conjuring with elaborate hand seals.
I could do this at age 6 with no seals. Here they need 10 gestures for a candle flame.
When his turn came, Kenji purposefully tangled the seals, his spell erupting in a sad puff of smoke.
Concentrate, boy. Even a commoner with no noble blood should manage this with effort.
By week's end, the nickname stuck. The talentless peasant, spoken loud enough for him to hear.
The difference is clear. Mana is external, drawn through ritual, not internal chakra. They waste motion.
In the corridor, Dren and Voss cornered him, their shadows falling over him like a familiar ritual.
Where's the explosion today? Useless? A failure like you shouldn't even be in this academy.
Dren shoved him. Kenji's hand twitched, a wrist lock that had killed armed men in another life. He forced it still.
I can catalog their flaws forever. But the real question gnaws at me. Why was I brought back to this world?
That afternoon, Kenji walked the courtyard, his ancient senses tracking every mana current like a shinobi reading a battlefield. A first-year girl stumbled on the library steps. Too far to reach, Kenji's hand flicked. A whispered wind jutsu, invisible and gentle, caught her before stone met skin. She blinked, confused. Other students only saw her miraculously steady herself, but 2 people did not look away. In spell prediction drills, instructor Elara released a flame burst. Kenji's eyes flicked to the target a full 2 seconds before it formed.
That was unaided. How did you know the trajectory, boy?
From the library window, Lady Aria watched the same drill, her violet eyes narrowing. That night, she sat by lamplight, a journal open, sketching the strange commoner with a white streak and a calm that felt like a shield. Kenji stood alone at dusk, sensing 2 distinct mana signatures focused on him, Elara's analytical probe and Aria's sharp, noble spike.
2 already. At this rate, the Hokage himself will be knocking on my door.
That boy is no peasant, and I will find out exactly what he hides.
The next day, Aria cast a binding spell on a secluded corridor door, trapping Kenji inside.
You think I haven't noticed? The wind that saved a girl, the spell prediction. Who are you really?
I am just a nervous commoner with good reflexes. You are seeing conspiracies, my lady.
I saw your hands during the bully incident. You moved like a trained killer. That is not good reflexes.
She's sharper than the others. I need a half-truth to escape this. My village sits on a border with old monster territory. Surviving there teaches you things the academy does not.
Aria's eyes narrowed, but the doubt flickered. She had no proof, only instinct. That evening, she stood before her father, Lord Valen, in his dim study.
Father, there is a commoner named Kenji. His anomalies are too many to ignore. I think he is hiding immense power.
Interesting. Watch him. If he is more than a peasant, he could be useful. Or a threat.
A week later, the academy announced mandatory combat exams. Every student would compete in the stone arena before the entire faculty. When Kenji's name echoed, the crowd laughed. He stepped forward, his opponent a bulky noble's son eager to crush the talentless peasant. Kenji botched his seals, stumbling back as a flame spell singed his sleeve. He felt the heat, let the pain show on his face.
I've endured worse, but the audience must see a failure. Not a shinobi who could end this in one finger.
A roar split the air. Barrier wards shattered, and a crystalline wolf charged into the arena, corrupted mana dripping from its fangs. Students screamed. The wolf lunged at a fallen girl. Without thought, Kenji's body moved, a shinobi's reflex older than this life. Behind his back, a single hand seal whispered a wind pulse. The wolf's claw slid aside by a hair, the girl untouched. No visible spell, just a pocket of displaced air. Arya, watching from the high stands, saw the air ripple. Instructor Alara's eyes narrowed. She'd seen that before, but this time the proof was thinner. The beast whirled on Kenji. He met its eyes, projecting a killing intent so potent the wolf whimpered and fled through the broken ward.
Now rumors of a guardian spirit will fly. But I've bought more questions. How long before they turn into suspicions I can no longer dodge?
3 days after the exam, an armored guard stopped Kenji with a golden scroll. The royal seal gleamed. Inside, a simple message. The magic Hokage invites you to tea this evening.
Refusing him would invite more suspicion. I have to go and guard every word.
That evening, Kenji walked the grand palace halls, each step echoing under the silent stares of guards. The Hokage sat in a serene tea room, a garden of floating blossoms behind him, smiling faintly.
Tell me, boy, have you ever felt as though you've lived a different life, with different rules?
I am just 15. Your Grace. My dreams are of passing exams, nothing more.
The Hokage stirred his tea with a finger, the liquid spinning without a seal. The silence grew heavy.
Long ago, warriors with your instincts were called shinobi. They needed no spells, no seals.
He knows. Not the whole truth, but enough. I am on a razor's edge now.
Back at the academy, Kenji felt eyes on him at every turn. The Hokage's interest had rippled through rumor and suspicion. Arya cornered him again, this time in the empty training hall, a truth-compelling rune glowing beneath their feet.
Answer me, commoner. Who trained you in combat before this academy?
A wandering monk taught me to survive. He said real strength comes from inside, not from noble blood.
The rune flickered, detecting half-truths, but no lie. Arya's lip curled in frustration. She needed more power. That night, Valen received a glowing report orb. His daughter's failure only sharpened his interest.
Place a shadow on him. If words won't crack him, constant pressure will make him slip.
Now a second mana signature follows me everywhere. The nobles are applying a noose.
He slipped past my truth rune. But no peasant learns truth saying tricks. I will dig until I unbury him completely.
I need answers from the Hokage. But if I go to him, I risk losing all cover. Still, doing nothing will crush me just as fast.
The next summons came without ceremony, a pulse of mana that only Kenji could feel, guiding him to a hidden chamber beneath the palace. The Hokage waited in a room lined with ancient seals, his genial mask gone. Only sharp, old eyes remained.
I am done with riddles. You and I, we wore the same crown in a land that no longer exists.
Impossible. I knew the first Shinobi King's name. He died 2 centuries before my era even began.
I was reborn here 200 years ago. I built this kingdom, and you, Kenji, are the only other who can understand why.
Without a word, the old man formed a one-handed seal, the ram serpent inversion that only 2 people in any era had ever mastered. Blue energy, not mana, but chakra, flickered at his fingertips. The proof was older than kingdoms.
That seal. I created it in my 50th year. No one else in our world could perform it.
Kenji's own hand rose, forming the same seal, the chakra flowing from a lifetime of buried instinct.
Welcome home, brother. The enemy we thought we buried has followed us, and you are the key to stopping it. An ancient enemy, the demon warlord, broke free when our shinobi realm collapsed. He now threatens Astoria with an army of dark mana. A prophecy says 2 shinobi kings will stand together against him. I waited 200 years for your arrival.
You waited 200 years? For me? Why? How could you know I would return?
A memory blazed in the air. The first shinobi king on a mountain of fallen soldiers, turning to face a shadowed figure with blazing eyes.
I lost that battle alone, but fate bound us again. Your current body, Kenji, is flesh of my flesh, my grandson.
Royal blood. My adoption, my village. It was all arranged. Even my reincarnation was guided. You are saying I am a prince by blood, and that my entire existence in this world was planned around this war.
Yes, the nobles who hound you will become your deadliest obstacle. They cannot accept a peasant as a savior, but your blood is my blood. You are the second shinobi king this realm needs. The war is coming whether you accept or not.
I came to this world hiding from a past I thought was dead. Now it demands a crown I never sought.
Kenji returned to the academy under moonlight, the weight of a kingdom pressing on his shoulders. He had left a peasant. Now he was a prince with a target on his back.
The Hokage meets this peasant in secret. He is a foreign agent, and while Astoria sleeps, he plots our ruin.
Father, you have no proof. You would destroy a student on suspicion alone?
By dawn, forged letters bearing a rival kingdom's seal were planted in Kenji's dormitory. The trap was set. A shadow detached from the wall. A guardian sent by the Hokage. His voice was cold. The council had named Kenji a traitor. The Hokage's word, run and survive, or stand and face the noble's noose. The choice could not wait.
A commoner would run. A shinobi would fight. But a prince must protect his people. There is no choice.
He walked to the council chamber, shedding his student robe. Beneath it, his eyes were those of a king.
He walks toward the executioner. What kind of man is he?
The chamber fell silent. Kenji stood in the doorway, not as a defendant, but as a warrior who had already chosen his battlefield. Before any accusation left Valen's lips, a shadow dropped from the rafters, a poisoned dagger arcing toward Kenji's heart. Kenji's body moved before thought. A silent chakra burst exploded from his palm, flinging the assassin across the marble floor. The council froze. That was no spell seal. It was magic older than their royal line. Kenji stood over the crumpled assassin, eyes ancient.
Enough. The magic Hokage strode through the doors, staff thundering. This boy is no traitor. He is my grandson, Prince Kenji of Astoria.
Attendants stepped forward, draping royal robes over Kenji's shoulders. The Hokage placed a trembling hand on his grandson's back, claiming him before all.
This is absurd. A commoner cannot ascend based on one old man's word. You risk civil war.
Father, look at him. That power is no trick. If he is the heir, then denying him is the real treason.
The chamber split, half in awe, half in fury. Kenji stood in the center, the white streak in his hair like a scar of destiny.
There is no hiding now. I am a prince, and the world will try to break me, but I will return every blow.
Beyond the palace, demon war drums thundered. The revelation of a prince did not end the war. It only announced a new battlefield. Kenji's voice carried over the chaos of the council. If my strength is questioned, let me prove it by ancient right. I demand a trial by combat. A towering royal champion raised his great sword, mana flaring like a storm. The court held its breath. Kenji formed a single finger seal. A pulse of chakra erupted, shattering the champion's blade mid-swing. The champion crashed into the stone wall, unconscious. The arena fell into stunned silence.
He could have killed him. He chose not to. My father's path leads to destruction, but Kenji's leads to something I can't yet name.
From this day, Kenji is Crown Prince of Astoria. Together, We will forge an army not of spells alone, but of the old ways reborn.
On the palace drill grounds, Kenji faced soldiers raised on magic. He raised a hand, forming a tiger seal. A soldier mimicked the gesture. Sweat dripped from his brow until a tiny flame sputtered to life in his palm. No spell chant required.
Chakra is your own life force. Hone it, and you will surpass any mage who relies on borrowed power.
He builds something new, yet my house stands against him. How long can I straddle these worlds?
This chakra is a demonic art. He poisoned the Hokage's mind, and now he will corrupt our youth.
Rumors coiled through the capital like smoke. Soldiers who had learned the tiger seal now faced whispers of heresy.
They stare at my soldiers like enemies. Valen is building a wall of fear, and I am running out of time.
Valen rallies the old houses against you. A rebellion would split our forces and hand victory to the demons.
On the northern border, a sentry's scream echoed. A demon scout, red eyes blazing, disappeared into the night.
The demons are testing our defenses, and my own court is plotting my fall. Which enemy do I face first?
Father, the realm is facing annihilation. Your obsession will drown us all in blood.
Better the demons take the throne than a foreign impostor wearing a stolen face.
The Horde will be here in weeks. We cannot wait for unity. We must act fractured or not.
I can bleed the kingdom with civil war, or charge into the demon storm with a knife at my back. Both paths lead to death.
The demon horde crashed against the eastern line like black tide. Kenji raised a hand, and a wall of flame roared to life. His soldiers, trained in the old ways, pierced demon armor with chakra-laced blades. The flank held.
We're holding, but the main force hasn't appeared. Valen's silence is a scream.
A messenger fell at his feet, an arrow in his back. The western gate. Lord Valen opened it. Demons inside the city.
Valen sold the realm. Now I choose. Hold our victory here, and lose the capital. Or race back and abandon my soldiers. Hold this ground. I will return with the old king's head, or I will not return.
He streaked across the burning fields, a blur of lightning. The palace spires glowed red with dark fire. The throne room doors lay in splinters. Mana and dark energy clashed. The Hokage stood locked in battle with a giant of shadow and horn.
2 centuries I waited, old king. Now you die alone and your realm follows.
I am not alone, and you will find that even an old shinobi has teeth.
The warlord's blade found its mark. Dark energy erupted through the old king's chest, and his staff clattered across the stone. Kenji caught him before he struck the marble, the warmth of blood spreading across his hands.
Listen, the demon's heart is exposed only through the gate of death, the forbidden scroll in the shrine. Use it.
His last breath carried a name Kenji had never been called in this life. Magic Hokage is yours.
Number, you stubborn old man. We were supposed to fight together.
A pulse of light. The old king's body dissolved into 1,000 glowing seals, sinking into Kenji's skin like an inheritance. Grief ignited into fury. Kenji's chakra erupted, a dragon of blue flame roaring around him as he rose to his feet.
So, the little prince inherits the curse. You will die just as he did.
You will not leave this chamber. I swear it on his memory.
The air crackled. 2 ancient forces, one of reborn light and one of ancient shadow, faced each other in the ruined throne room. The warlord lunged, a storm of dark steel and red lightning. Kenji met it with a palm thrust. Chakra and mana collided in a blinding explosion. Pillars shattered. The walls groaned, but Kenji watched the demon's heart. The demon's heart exposed itself only for a heartbeat when he struck.
The gate of death. I have one chance.
He wove a forbidden seal, the serpent's fang. Dark chakra bled from his chest, forming a spear of living energy.
Fool. That technique will devour you.
Then I take you with me.
The spear pierced the warlord's chest, shattering his dark armor. A scream shook the heavens, and red light drained from his eyes. Not dead, A black portal tore open behind him. The warlord clawed his way into the void, his army dissolving into ash.
This is not the end, boy. I will return, and your world will burn.
Kenji stood in the wreckage, the spear fading from his grip, blood on his lips. He had saved the realm, but the hollow in his chest was heavier than any crown. In the restored throne room, Kenji knelt as the grand mantle of the magic Hokage was placed upon his shoulders. The crown was heavy with memory.
This weight is not mine alone. I carry the old king's dream now.
From the high balcony, Kenji addressed the shattered capital. His voice carried the truth of shinobi and demons, of a war not ended but delayed.
We were not born of noble blood, but of ancient sacrifice. The enemy will return. We will be ready.
In the court, Valen knelt in irons Kenji's judgment. Exile, not death, for the blood of many was on his hands. But Kenji would not begin his reign with an execution.
He spares even my father. What does that make me?
As Valen was led away, Arya slipped from the crowd. The silence between them was heavier than any spell.
I have no house, no name that is not stained. But if you will have me, I will serve the crown, not my blood.
I need allies who see the world as it is, not as they wish it. Stay.
She knelt, not in submission to a king, but in promise to a cause. The new Hokage extended his hand, and the realm took its first unsteady breath. In the months that followed, Kenji reshaped the academy. Shinobi stances replaced rigid spell forms, chakra flow blending with mana. The capital buzzed with hybrid magic, fireballs cast through hand seals, walls raised by chakra alone. For the first time, hope had a rhythm. Arya worked to cleanse her house's shame, speaking for the commoners her father had scorned. She became a bridge, not a puppet.
I will not let the name Valen end in ruin. I will make it stand for something true.
One twilight, in the quiet of the palace garden, Arya found Kenji alone. The weight of the day still clung to his shoulders.
Kenji, I have come to rely on you more than a subject should, more than an ally.
Arya, my path is already promised to the war that will return. I cannot offer you a future.
He is right. I won't let this become a wound between us. Then I will stand beside you as your ally. Not as a noble, not as a woman seeking a promise, but as a warrior who shares your cause.
Kenji visited the old king's grave at dawn, the partnership sealed in duty. A kingdom breathed, and a new era watched the horizon. Time had washed over the kingdom like a healing rain. The academy grounds now hummed with the rhythm of a new generation. Kenji moved among the students, correcting a hand seal, demonstrating a breath pattern. His presence was no longer a mystery. It was a foundation.
They are strong, stronger than I was, and not just in power. They fight for each other.
In the court chamber, Arya stood before the council, steady for the first time as a representative.
The people ask for walls of chakra, not walls of stone. Let us teach them, and they will defend themselves.
Kenji heard the echo of her words from the corridor and allowed himself a tired smile. Later, he watched soldiers practice the hybrid forms he had dreamed of.
I wore a king's armor in my past life, but I never wore the weight of an entire people on my shoulders.
A distant pulse of dark mana rippled. Kenji's hand instinctively formed a seal, but he forced it still.
The warlord is gathering strength, but so are we.
In a realm of black obsidian and red lightning, the demon warlord knelt on a throne of bones. His wounds smoked, but his army swelled beyond counting.
The Shinobi King is dead, but the boy who wears his mantle is strong. I will not underestimate him twice.
Dark figures forged weapons in rivers of molten rock. The horizon churned with waiting legions. Far above, on Astoria's palace balcony, Kenji opened his eyes. The wind had shifted, carrying a taste of ash.
It won't be long now. He'll come with everything he has.
His hand rested on the stone railing, where the old king's staff had once leaned. The white streak in his hair caught the dying light. In the dark realm, the warlord rose. His eyes burned with ancient hatred that spanned worlds.
I will drown Astoria in a tide of ash and bone, and the magic Hokage will kneel before me.
A pulse of mana answered, a mutual sensing across the boundary of realms. They had marked each other. Kenji's eyes narrowed, not in fear, but in the cold resolve of a king who had already died once and came back for this. At the academy, Arya guided a new cohort, their hand seals imperfect, but their spirit unbroken. In the capital streets, commoners now walked with confidence, mana and chakra no longer a privilege of noble blood. From a hill overlooking it all, Kenji watched the magic Hokage, still young, still carrying the old king's dream.
This is what he would have wanted. This is what I will protect.
From the training ground, Arya caught his distant silhouette. A nod passed between them, silent, unbreakable. They had forged a kingdom not of fear, but of readiness. The grave of the old Hokage stood witness. Wildflowers now blooming at its base, a single dark cloud drifted across the sun, a reminder that this peace was not a destination.
I have lived and died, and now I choose to stand.
The realm breathed. And the magic Hokage watched the horizon, unyielding. On the palace roof at dawn, Kenji stood alone, the first light catching the white streak in his hair.
Who watches the watchman? An old Shinobi proverb. In our world, there is no rest, so I will watch until the threat is gone, or until I am.
He drew a slow breath, and the wind seemed to answer, a calm before the storm. Below, the kingdom stirred, villages, fields, the academy where new warriors trained. At the old Hokage's grave, the wildflowers swayed, a silent vigil never broken. Kenji's eyes opened, carrying the weight of 2 lives and an unfinished war. He did not smile. He did not mourn. He simply stood. The realm of Astoria hung in an eternal dawn, its magic Hokage, a shadow at the edge of light, and the story, like a shinobi's breath, waited for its next chapter.